I'll go ahead and read it. Item number 38 is the adoption of a 2021 County Commission redistricting plan. And just some information to kind of set the stage. The state constitution requires redistricting of county commission districts a minimum every 10 years in order to balance the population amongst the districts based on the decennial census. We obviously have to have 5 commission districts, which shall be as nearly equal in proportion to population as possible. And the changes made in the boundary of the county commission districts shall be made only in odd number years, which means that this process must be done by December 30th, 2021. And by law, this is solely the board's decision to be made at a public hearing. Factors, and I've mentioned this at an earlier hearing, but just to reiterate, because it's important, is that factors such as equal protection amongst protected classes, keeping together communities of interest, and maintaining consistency in the districts have found their way into the analysis. But the primary criteria for redistricting is, and it always has been, population balance. The 2020 census results showed that Osceola County had a population of approximately 388,000 people. And by contrast, the population, according to the 2010 census, was approximately 268,000. So between 2010 and 2020, the county grew, according to the census, by about 120,000 people. The effect in regards to redistricting is that the mean population of each district, the average population, must grow from about 53,000 per district to almost 78,000. In redistricting, any change to a district necessarily affects at least one, but often several, if not all, the other districts. So the process itself can really become a complicated balancing act. Chairman, this is a public hearing. There's no public comment registered, so I will return it to the chair.
Thank you so much. And before we move forward, Board, I do want to thank staff again and Ken for all his work, but getting this done to make sure we get it done before January. We were kind of under the clock when we got our information from the state, so it's great to see that we were able to pull that off. Is there any questions of staff at this time from any of our board members? All right, seeing no questions, the chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion for map C.
All right, we have a motion for map C. Is there a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, we have a second on map C. Any discussion on map C? Commissioner Grieb, your light is on.
It's hard to look at these things when they're so broad, try to bring it down to more of a micro level. And I did ask staff to look at a small change, which doesn't really affect the numbers, I've been told. It does affect your district a little bit, though, Commissioner Arrington, which would be dropping down to Patrick, which would be a little more consistent, and it's part of the whole community of interest. And here, let me just show it to you here. There's Patrick, and then up Orlando, over to Bryan, still down Ruby. So it just has those 2 streets there. And then I would just ask about continuing the park, so there's not a bifurcation of the park.
In this proposed that you're showing me, is the courthouse in the blue or is it in the purple?
It would be in my district. So Patrick Street, so north of Patrick would be in District 4.
And is there a specific reason
Again, trying to keep it a little more consistent with what the maps were originally, and that's part of the historic area with the historic courthouse and the historic district in the city of Kissimmee.
Yes, ma'am. I guess Commissioner Grieb, I appreciate you presenting this. I'm gonna say no, because I used to represent this district as well, and when redistricting happened last time, my district shrunk a bunch, so I lost some of this area, and also I'm kind of inclined to stick with the maps that are presented and that are presented for public viewing as well. So I'm gonna stick with map C as presented.
And that's why I had staff look at it, see the numbers
Sure.
changed.
Yeah, I don't think
there wasn't anything.
And in the past, I even asked them to look, because I'm a little high in my population, and I'd looked at District 1 even coming down Point Siena Boulevard, but it threw everything out of whack. So I'm kind of excited to actually be able to take in some of downtown as well, and I guess look forward to representing downtown with you.
Would you at least leave the park so it's not bifurcated?
I could lose the park if you'd like.
Okay.
That'd be fine. That would make sense.
Okay, so would the motion maker accept that as a change? It would just be so the Lakefront Park isn't bifurcated.
And it's all in her district, in District 4.
This little piece right here.
Yeah,
Fellow
what
board
piece
members,
is it?
County Attorney, did you understand the most recent request just made?
Section.
I understand the request by Commissioner Grieb. If there was something else after that, I missed
Yeah,
it.
There was. It basically, the only change would be to make sure the park is in District
Oh,
4,
yeah.
but not the residents and the street service and other stuff.
Yeah, that would, we could I think we could cut the
Lakefront
census
Park.
block off. So the park itself would remain in District 4.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't want to, I'll be honest, I just don't want to vary from what was presented.
Right. It
Very
wouldn't
much.
obviously change the numbers any. because-
Yeah, it's just, so I'd be open to that.
Oh, okay, that's, my question was that if that would change the numbers, but it's strictly the park, none of the residents across the street from it or anything
Yeah.
like that?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
It would be the
I'll
same map,
modify-
just adding the park.
Okay,
part.
so I'll modify my motion for map C with the change of including the lakefront park in District
Four.
4.
And
And
the
second's
second,
good.
so let's hold that.
good.
Any further discussion on the motion that's at hand? All right, seeing none, we'll bring it back to the board. All those in favor of map C, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.